and welcome to yet another beautiful episode of These My Random Thoughts. Before I can get into it, I would like to send shout outs to none other than our new sponsor, who happens to be Jimbo Technical Consultants. Now, for any of you who are looking into construction, who are looking into anything to do with construction, these are your people to hit up. I'll give you more info on them as the show rolls on, but for now, welcome to These My Random Thoughts. We're all... Anyway, I don't even know where to start this particular episode from. That's what I always say, but I do know. So, last episode we did, I was trying to tell you people to wake up and start asking for accountability. Now, I know most of you did come hard at me, and I loved the responses. I loved what all of you had to say within my comment section. There's a guy trying to go on with his hustle, so I have to wait him to finish his hustle. The hustle is not... I have to start this shit again? Wow. Do you know how much energy it took me to just get into that first slide? We're wrong? Oh yeah, okay, so last episode that I did, we were talking about how you people need to learn how to ask for accountability from your governments, and most of you did hit me up with different types of, info. Most of you did respond, most of you went into the comment sections on YouTube, but I love to take a minute and shout out to everybody that has taken time out to send me an email, a detailed email. Yesterday someone lovely sent me a detailed email, and they were telling me about what they would want for the show, how they think it should go, but most importantly, I just love the feedback, the connectivity. So that aside, after I went on that rant, most of you asked me, what should we do? Tina, what should we do? Huh? Now, as of yesterday, was it yesterday? As of yesterday, Ugandans finally came to understand that we are, as a nation, in our national debt, national public debt, batubanja 65 trillion UGX, because if it is in dollars, we are done. It is UGX, eh? So the reports came out. They said we are 65 trillion in debt, still holding on for dear life on that particular conversation. I see another one. They say, oh wait, according to NBS, they came out and did an expose, and they claim that apparently a quarter of the national budget was stolen or robbed or borrowed. It is just not there. A quarter of it is gone. A quarter as of 2020. I'm like, okay. As we were still coming down from that, guess what happens? Or they finally now break down that 65 trillion public debt, and they tell us each Ugandan owes 1.5 million. Isn't this the shit I've been telling you people forever? And now all of you come to social media, you're like, what? How? It cannot be. And I'm sitting there like, but dear, you just figured this out? Now, for all of you who don't understand what it means to have public national debt at that amount, because I can't begin explaining the whole GDP situation for all of you who know what a GDP is. I will lose very many people on track here. All I'm just going to tell you is that you need to know that your country, Bajibanja, 65 trillion. That is the public debt we have as a country. And now, for us to get to 65 trillion, what does it mean? It practically means the government has been borrowing more money than it has been bringing in. That's in simple terms. They have borrowed a lot more than we are getting in from our resources, from just the national situation. Yeah, they have not been doing that well. So I'm like, okay. Then the conversation grew. Y'all need to understand. Let me break it down for you. What the government has been doing now, according to Minister Bahati, he was on a political show with Honorable Nandala Mafavi, and he threw some stupid figures, and I would like to shout out to Nandala. You have been life for me. My politics is there.
Why would David Bahati, a Minister of Finance, instead of in charge of planning, not planning, if he's a real planner? Because when you're planning, you plan to make sure that you do what you call a cost-benefit analysis. You get the best out of a cost. Why would he go to borrow commercial loans from Exim Bank in America and leave World Bank, which gives concessional loans at 0.5% to 1% per annum. And then you go for commercial one, which give over 10%. It means there's a problem. What figures you applied to say that your economic growth is growing at 10.9%, and yet you're going to borrow money every day? Yet you're borrowing. Because if the growth is growing, the money is in the economy, you're tax, there's no need to come to parliament every day to tell people of Uganda that you're borrowing. And to demonstrate this, you're saying the interest rates are high. Why? Because you are going to the domestic market, where me and Sabit and Opono, of course Opono doesn't go there, to the bank to borrow. You are going, is the lucky man. We are going to borrow in a commercial bank, where you're also going with treasury bills to deal and borrow domestically. These are treasury bills, bonds, and whatever. You are going to pay out 12.005 trillion. You are aware of that. Externally, you are going to pay 2.4 trillion. That is 14.4 trillion. Now 14.4 trillion, you get 22.5 minus 14.4. You remain with 8.1 trillion of the cash. Are you hearing? You wanted to learn. That's the only money you have now, which you have to spend now. Start from there. Now you say, I have only 8.1 before going to borrow. How do I handle it? What are the priorities? And they said, this is for now, before I get more money, instead of eating matoke with chicken, we shall eat posho with beans. And that's how they say planning is. So that's what I wanted. What are the alternatives? The little we have is what we should plan within and stop going with excess. Bringing a 44.7 trillion in this current state where the economy is on more or less recess is wrong for Bahati context. You have talked about the parish model. I'm happy you started with the Tandikwa. We had the Tandikwa, we went to Kulembeka, went to Bonaba Gagaware, went to Operation Wealth Creation, went to NADS, now Emioga, now a parish model. Each of these programs has no evaluation report to say, when we put it there, this is what happened, and that's the reason why we have changed. Because you know that the people of Uganda will always forget. Every day you change names, change words, change words. This is most dangerous for you, Mr. Bahati, my brother, Honorable Bahati, in charge of planning. And that's why when you talk about that there's economic growth, that you are the only country who is doing very well in economic growth. You are now 2.9%, other than negative. What figures did you use? Did you use the money you borrowed to compute your economic growth? You are lucky that in Uganda you have mentioned food. There's no food inflation. If it was there, you would not be sitting here. Because when somebody is hungry, is angry. And an angry person is very dangerous. You are lucky in Uganda, we have food. That's why you are able to talk about 2.9, which you don't know even. Tanzania. Listen. Tanzania is 4 times bigger than Uganda. But right now, Tanzania, even every village has power. Why? 99% is powered. While for us, our quarter were fed. And yet we have the best water. We have now thermal. We have solar. But we're not doing anything. All
right, thank you.
Let's just conclude on this. Now, the power is very expensive. Why? Because we have decided to make it expensive because you will not have people in Uganda, right? Because you have food. And the people who have food are not hungry. But a hungry person is angry.
That guy speaks my language. And he put it into context for all of you who don't understand. Let us say I want to get a loan from a bank, and I can also get a loan from a loan shark. If I go to the bank will tell me that their interest rate is probably 5%. If I go to a loan shark, because he's a loan shark, he's going to tell me my interest is 15%. Now, it is entirely up to me to do cost-benefit analysis, right? And understand which one to go with, which one will suit my needs better. Now, according to Mr. Nandala Mafabi, the government has been getting commercial loans from people like Exim Bank, who are giving us an interest rate of pretty much like about 10%. And yet people like the World Bank can actually give us this same loan at a much lower price, like a much lower interest rate of like 0.5%. So if you tell me that Mr. Bahati, who is in charge of planning for this economy and country, saw it best to go and get a commercial loan from a place like Exim Bank at a much higher interest rate than go to a consensual loan person like, say, the World Bank, I don't understand what he means by he is the minister for planning. What are you planning, darling? What are you planning? It just doesn't add up. Why would you go get a loan that has a much higher interest rate? Now, of course, people are saying that the biggest reason why this loan has, and the loans are many, but one that actually caught me off guard is the whole story behind the oil deal. Apparently, they didn't even think the oil deal was going to go through with Tanzania. So by the time Tanzania came to sit on the table, they needed exorbitant amounts of money to actually sign the deal. So what did they do? They went and got a loan to finance it, and the loan that was gotten was at a higher interest rate. I'm like, wait, we are borrowing to pay off a loan again. And this is going to be applied in almost all the loans. I want you Ugandans to take the time out and read through these different entities whenever they table monies. Because this is what I was trying to tell you. We need some accountability. We cannot let these people keep planning for us. For crying out loud, Minister Bahati came on TV and he lied to us that our economy was doing well, that we are at a 2 point something and we are doing better than very many nations, but his mathematics does not add up. It does not. These are the people we have left in charge of our planning. And now years into it, we have debts as big as 65 trillion and every Ugandan is supposed to be paying a 1.5 debt off. I barely have a job. Ugandans barely have a minimum wage. Ugandans barely have anything to go by. How do you think my grandmother in the village is going to comprehend the fact that government here Mubanja 1.5 million in the year 2021 after 2 years of a global pandemic? Now you're going to ask me, so what can we do? People, just take some time out and read through your damn constitution. Take some time. We can actually ask for all of these things. When I say we can ask for accountability, I don't mean take to the streets. That's madness. In a country like mine, they will shoot us and, police will come and say, we shall shoot you for your own safety. People like Eddie Tumine will say, we shall shoot you. So I'm not going to put anyone's life in jeopardy like that, but I'm saying, take a minute out. Read through your constitution and see how you can make some of these changes, because you cannot tell me that a country will sit down and talk about borrowing money in exorbitant amounts, take it to Parliament. Parliament sits with it, okays it, and the nation doesn't even understand the criteria as to why Parliament okayed it. Because the government cannot get any of this money if they have not kwebuzadi ku Parliament. Bobato chimanyi. Even if it is the president's spending expenditure, even if it is the forces and how much they want, if it has anything to do with money, it has to be sent to Parliament, right? So I'm telling you, your number one person to go to is that member of Parliament you voted in. You need to start asking these members of Parliament for accountability, because when you put the pressure on them, they will understand that when they go to sit in the August House, they will understand that my people want accountability. So whatever decision I'm making in here, I better give them accountability. You hear you already say, we got this much money, we did this, but then we don't see what it does. You have the government asking for money. This same government, man, they sold off lakes, rivers, forests, right? Global warming at its height. And then just 2 months ago or 3 months ago, they were asking for a loan from a different entity. And one of the reasons they gave for that loan is that they want to regrow our forest cover. Regrow it. You sold it off in the first place. Do we look like fools? Man, this whole accountability thing, for me, it goes deep. Just look at all these bigger countries. Yes, Africa is a mess, that's what we're going to say. But it's going to take us to be the change that we want to see. Our generation, Ebulaya, nebwobera senator, ne wayita siringi bibiri mu office yo n'otaziwa accountability, you are done. You are done. They will take you away. They will make you account for that money. They will dig up your history. But in Uganda, it is different. Some Kutasa will rob, they will not ask. This minister will rob, they will not ask. Parliamentarians will okay money that they know for a fact is not even going to do what it is being asked for. No one will ask. Muchichi, can we just start asking for simple accountability? I told you people, we just start with simple logic, because it's a logic, no reason. Let's say State House has come out and said we use 30 million a week. Can they please show us this budget? We can ask for as little as that. There are people who have to generate these budgets. They have to go through a system because they have to be accounted for. So can we just start saying, okay, every week that State House decides, mutu what budget? Mutu wakuzi budget. Next, when the state says we are going to kwewola money, and they give us the reasons for kwewolaring that money, can we stop being the Ugandans that we are and just hear it, make noise about it, and never follow up? I want you people to tell me if you remember what they used, or if you can significantly point at that project, twewola sente, government yatugamba tugenda zewola, your project, it has taken off. Come on, I'm in a country where they opened up a matoke processing plant 5 years back with a lot of money. For 15 years, the plant has not been doing anything. Then boom, it pops up and it is like, we need billions of shillings. What have you been doing? We have been researching what to do with matoke. Why did you open the plant in the first place? Yo, come on, Uganda, we need to be more critical. We need to be a lot more critical, because these guys will come, throw a bunch of numbers our way, because they know abana Uganda mwerabira nnyo, mumanye ekiberabiza, mwine mmere, mwine ekyokulya. An angry man, a hungry man is an angry man. Ugandans are not going to get angry because muline mmere, mwamukyala b'amatooke, mugalina ebijanjalo weebiri. Omuna Uganda kasitali emmere ebisigadde tebimukwatako. What happens emmere nga tekyaliwo? Munanyiga ku olwo? Will you finally say we need to do something about this daylight thing? This is daylight thuggery. This is daylight nyokari. It is blatant. What is Mataya Kasaija going to tell us this time? The economy has gone how? Sweet. Again, it has did it. It has gone sweet or sweet. Which one is it? This is just a couple of years down the road. And yet we are the same country trying to say now we are going to do oil nabagamba. Nabagamba nono oil agenda tufuukira ebizibu. Kuba kati bagenda kwekwasa buli kimu ku oil. Buli kimu kigenda kwekwasizaawo. I even can't wait to read through the budget of this country. Ibra, don't you think you're going to be shook? Because if a quarter of the budget has already been robbed clean, what do you expect? Quarter of the budget has been robbed clean. The state is still borrowing. And now the whole borrowing language has not just been in the state. Apparently, according to research, MTN users bewola obuwumbi 14 or something like that during the 2020 and 2021 situation, during the pandemic. So I think Matia Kasaija is looking at them like, yo. Chine chintu chokwewola muchindekere. Who are these people? Nandala Mafabi brought up something else that actually tickled my fancy. It's like in Uganda, the government will come out with different enterprises to help the Ugandan make some money. We've had them by different names. M-Yoga, there's M-Yoga, there's Tulembeke, there was Fenatu Gagawale. There were all these different initiatives by the government, and they say they sent out money for these initiatives to take place. I want you to stand up, put your hand up and tell me I am one of the beneficiaries of these projects. And please make sure you do not have a relationship to anyone running those projects. I want you to just be omwana we Uganda nga wavaje wava nogenda nofuna muzino projects. They just keep bringing them under different names. But for me, I believe these are good. I believe some of these projects are meant to money launder. Like to just make money disappear and accounted for, like, okay, that money we borrowed, we put it in M-Yoga. I just feel like they're all funds. These are all funds. And now we're this high in debt. Kambuze, what can we sell? We need to sell off a few things to just relieve this debt, because I am not leaving this debt for my kids. If Zeba manja 1.5, right? How much do you think my child is going to be? So, in that same light, because we are Ugandans ate twagalize gwanga tulyagala, I am thinking ebintu bino wammanga tuyinza bitunda. Ebiri wammanga wano. Number one, every minister who has assets that do not sit in your earning or in your side hustles, buli kyolina kyaffe mubitunde. Every minister, every politician who has things and assets that cannot be explained by how much they earn, that's our shit. We're selling it. We are going to relieve this debt somewhere or somehow. Because I wasn't part of the people nga bazeewola sabirimu. So temugenda kummanja. I pay my taxes. Watch mummanja. Secondly, we don't need the bombardiers. I hate to say this, but we don't. We have failed to even just hook up our train systems. You think we are going to fix our air cargo, our air flights? We don't need these bombardiers. First thing they did when they brought these bombardiers, they cost us an arm and a leg. They brought them during the height of a pandemic. Can you imagine this bullshit? They brought them. First thing they did was register losses. Losses. You are a Ekeman told us how much they registered in losses. I'm like, what is this nonsense? Sell them cuts away. We don't need them. We cannot afford them right now. They cannot do anything for us. Sell them off. Thirdly, they bought fighter jets. Tugenda lwana nani? The whole one. Tugenda lwana Bobby Wine. Saja chita, saja limu, saja mveko. All the political prisoners are in Kitalia. Who are we fighting? All the people who they say were going to cause all this commotion are in prison or home prison. Who are we going to fight? Who? They can sell those jets. They are very expensive for no reason. We don't need them. We can buy these things at a later time when the economy has up a bit. But we don't need them. Sell them. Thirdly or fourthly, whichever it is. Do we need all those tear gas? I even saw they have buggy cars whenever there is a riot in Uganda is when you notice how rich we are. They bring out different artillery. Can we sell all that nonsense? Ugandans are a peace-loving people. We don't need them. Let us sell them off, offset this debt, and we shall work slowly towards getting these things. What else do we need to sell off? All these malls, when MP Adenayani, bangambye siya muntu wa bulijjo ya government. Tunda, get all of Sudir's assets. Muzitunde, Speak Resort Munyonyo, do we need it? Do we need it? It has been belittled to just, it is there for taking photo shoots for weddings and just that we have it. Mujitunde, we don't need it. Choga miyagwa, tetugenda jiko sachi ntonya. Half of Uganda cannot even afford to go and eat a meal there. Sell that shit off. Sell it off. What else can we sell? Parliament. A parliament weba tulibajitunda njagala tujitundiremu n'abajirimu. Bonna tubagambe we don't need Kadaga, we can sell her off. We don't need the Olanyas, sell them off. Bonna tubatunde tubajemu. Do you think we also need to sell off some of the ministers? All of them. We can give these people off for sale. I know it is modern day slavery, but hey, neocolonialism never left. It is here. It is here. Sell these things. What else can we sell? The president's entourage has very many cars on it. Can't we sell like 3? Can't we sell all the MPs' cars that they give them? Well, I think it's about time we approach this thing of this government the way the old famous Thomas Sankara did. Thomas Sankara was a very great president, and I don't think Africa will ever see someone like that. He stood up and he's like, I don't need a car to attend a parliament session. He took all their cars away and gave all of them bicycles. Can't we give these people bicycles? Mubajia kama motoka gonna tugatunde tusasule kweno 65 trillion. We will raise this money somehow. We can raise this money. Don't you think we can raise it? Because we have so much redundant shit going on. Mutunde assets zabasam kutesa zona. Bobango mani, you fall under the category of, do you know who I am? Biolina sibibio. Biafe. Tuwamanyi. Tugenda bajjake ebitali byamwe tubitunde omune Uganda ye yagale konga teba mubanja. Jesus, we have sanctions coming in from the USA. We have debts swallowing us alive. We have bad infrastructure. We don't have jobs. Omune Uganda sanyukire wana mabala mwaganyo gagula. Yeko vidali bichikati. Let us go into gossip. It's been a while. We haven't done gossip. Yo fam, Rema celebrated her birthday. But I was a maker. Tetumany, tubuze bebe. Okay, tuveye yo. Rema Hamza and their daughter, because I can't say Rema's daughter, that's their daughter, took a minute out, they caught a flight, they went to Dubai. They're celebrating who? Rema's birthday. And as usual, they cannot help but okutukuba ebitole bya love. Oh! Bana bekubisiza ebifaananyi again. Now my question is, Uganda wachi mwagala violence? Wachi mwagala entalo? So what people did, they got the photos of Rema in Dubai celebrating her birthday, and then they got the photos of Rema celebrating her birthday with Eddie Kenzo, and I'm like, Kenzo yali akola bino ebyaffe byakuyira amazzi tomuleetera musajja muganda. Hamza on the other end is taking flights. Now, of course, social media was a buzz. They're like, Banange, Hamza, I got the Rema. Hamza, cause you know, Hamza, Rema. I'm like, Namana Uganda, Obama Kalaba. My question is, so, Ibra, let's say we are dating, even if I'm a celebrity, right? And you're my man, and you come in like, babe, I want to surprise you for your birthday. Next thing I know, we're catching a flight. Next thing I know, we're having my birthday in a different country. Someone explained to me the necessity, the urge, the dire need for them to always share their step-by-step situations. Like, do you think it makes sense? And then again, if you went, like, I don't understand this thing of celebrity. I think that's why I'll never be one. If we have gone to celebrate my birthday, every birthday needs a photographer. It does. Me, I'm just sour graping. I'm a player hater. I have a PhD, player hating degree. I just don't think it is necessary. If you say you love your woman, you love your wife, you love your kids, you love your family, go have a blast. We don't need to know it all. Come on. Like, yeah, we could have seen a photo or two and just like, hey, people, on your social, you know, just you doing your thing. But it was a full photo op. I like the photos, though. They look good together. They look happy. But don't start this nonsense of, look at Rema being loved right by Hamza. Catching flights is not being loved right. Damn. I think our description of being loved right varies. I think. But anyway, she celebrated her birthday again and Achirwa. They look good. Hey, we're happy for them. Rema's already. Sorry, they told me not to ask those questions, that they are rude. Okay, I'm sorry. To hear you. Otherwise, as we're still dealing with the Rema birthday, I'm like, I'm still going to talk on it because it is the same thing. As I'm going through that, I see photographs again. I've seen photographs come out many times of probably like Diamond Platnumz with his kids. And she's come to see them and all of that, and they take photos and they're like, oh wow, Diamond came to see his children. Oh wow, the photos go everywhere. First of all, why are we congratulating a man for doing what he's supposed to do? Why do we need a photo op to notice that he is actually parenting? What is this bullshit? What happened? Life is all one social media scene? Like, I don't find the relativity. I don't. If the man has come to see his kids, can you just see your kids? Don't take photos. We see you. We just don't. Like I said, I have a player hating degree today. These things baffle me. They honestly baffle me. Because there's a difference. For me, there's a difference about hiding your partner and respecting your relationship. There's a difference. I think like the reason why the generation of dating and marriage and all of that has been messed up so much is because we are doing this whole thing for the likes. For the social media likes, for the social media love. That's all we're doing these things. We're loving our partners too hard simply because we want social media to know we're loving them too hard. But my question is, do you think everything is fine and dandy when a photo is perfect? We have seen things happen. You all know that story that went viral. Derek Jackson, he is a relationship coach. He talks about what women should do or what men should do. Nigga was caught cheating with like 20 different women when the cookie crumbled. So my thing is, why do we feel the dire urge, the need to actually always put our shit out on social media? Why do we feel like the social media is what should validate our relationships? That social media is what should validate anything we're doing in our lives? Why? Maybe I come from an old school. Maybe I do. But this shit is just, it's confusing for me. So, a deadbeat dad stood up and said, I want to go see my kids. And so let me ask, every time Diamond Platnumz goes to see his kids, we are going to take photos and do videos. Why? For what purposes? It's his job, it's his obligation, he's a father. Rema, this one is for you. So every step you make, no, we never get videos, daily videos of you cooking supper, going to the shower, Hamza telling you I love you. Why don't we get those? Why do we have to just have to wait for a perfect photo op? If you're saying you want us in your life, then let's do it as a reality TV show. Don't you people think Rema's life would make money? Put it on reality TV. So that we can really know this love is for the likes. Like, But again, like I say, today Petty Betty came to play and I'm just asking regular questions. So let's move on from that. As we're still going through that, yes, Daniel Kaluuya won an Oscar. And as soon as he won the Oscar, Ugandans came and they're like, should we claim him? Has he claimed us? Won't he claim us? Is he claiming us? I'm like, I'm done trying to justify whether he claims us or not. I am done talking on whether he claims us or not. I don't want to. I'm just going to say hip hip hooray for that black excellence. That's all that counts. And then that speech he made, his mama was seated in that chair like, son, I brought you into this world and I can definitely take you up. It was a good moment. We're happy for him. Whether he claims our Ugandanness or not, black excellence to the top. Child, someone told me Tina Totua info ne numbers. I'm like, okay. As of Monday, July 11th, 2016, the president of this year's sovereign nation, Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Tibahaburwa, that one, he said every Ugandan will earn 3.5 million shillings annually by the year 2020. Do I need to remind you it is 2021? And as of that was on July 11th, 2016. As of today, 27th, April 2021. All the government is telling us they owe us 1.5 million. Now, use that information however way you see fit. Because Mwebaba is a Mwerabida. And I think that's our biggest problem. Ugandan government has understood that they can confuse any Ugandan anytime. They will bring a story on Monday, give you distraction for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then on Monday, throw like a story to just see if you're still alert. If it doesn't swing on Tuesday, they bring a new scandal. They know you, Uganda, you forget. So, in case you haven't forgotten, or if you had forgotten, let me remind you that in 2016, the president said every Ugandan will be able to earn 3.5 million Uganda shillings. As of today, 27th April, we owe, or they owe, or Baba Tubanja, Kagambo Kokandemo Kozesa, Batubanja, 1.5 million a piece. We don't even have a minimum wage. Half of the population is not employed. There is a video of Alex Mukulu doing a TV show. So it's one of them talent search shows where people come and they exhibit their talent, kind of like, you know, America's Got Talent. Don't blame Uganda for not having that much creativity. We just copy and paste for our TVs, but I'll get into that later. So the episode that Eba Kutomu Babitijo is an episode where these young kings, I call them kings and queens, these young kids come onto the show and they're trying to show that they can dance. I think let us blame the ghetto kids because they made every Ugandan child who is from, you know, the ghetto, everything, see that they can actually be something. So most of these kids have been getting together, forming dance groups, and they just want some little recognition because they believe that is their calling. So these little kids come in and they exhibit their talent. As soon as they're done exhibiting and it's time for the judges, you're going to see the video, Ibra is going to put it up, and the judges have time to talk. Alex Mukulu is one of the judges, and what can I say? You people say I'm savage. That was not savagery. That was just plain disrespect for me. That was just plain insensitive. That was just plain ugly. That was plain ugly. Like, if I could stress the word, he tells them munya. Munya.
Abange, munya. Munya. Temutukkiriza nze temunzikiriza kulaba mazina gammwe oluzinye mwenna ne muwunya. Toyinza kuzinira muntu ng'owunya bw'otyo. Owulidde, sirabye na mazina. olutandise bwe muti ne muwunya toyinza kuwunya toyinza kuzindira muntu ng'owunya mulekeraawo okuwunya kyekyo musale amagezi ebbombo munaabe ebbombo kitusale tutya tubasale tutya nga bawunya bakitegedde ebbombo
emyaka gye balimu gya
kavubuka gyali naye toyinza kuzinira muntu ng'owunya
bakitegedde
mwiraba.
So Uganda is pissed. I am equally pissed because one, before I can get to Alex Mukulu and the things I want to tell him so that he can also feel the disrespect coming from a younger generation. Yes, I said it because you disrespected the young generation. So now this young generation, which I happen to fall a part of, is going to disrespect you. But wait. Let me ask, the TV station that is actually airing this, Bajitani, BBS, y'all couldn't sit down in production or pre-production and understand that if you left this clip in, it was going to send the wrong message? Case in point, I told you Ugandan TVs are full of shit and I'm glad I left. You couldn't see that that was going to be insensitive? Why did you even let it? And when you ask these people, they're going to be like, yes, kabadde kabina heraba katambudde katuwadde exposure. What exposure? What exposure? You do not crush a young dream like that. Alex Mukulu, you have been in the arts industry time immemorial. You are a fossil that we cannot ignore. You have been there, you have done great things when you did them, but you started somewhere. How are you going to break down a young soul like that? How? Who doesn't know that teenagers at that age are very, very, very sensitive for you to be like, munya, mumpunyida, bakunyida, gwetowunya. Let me ask, Alex Mukulu, if you felt you wanted to give these kids a bit of advice, couldn't you cut the cameras and talk to these young kids? No bagamba ekitone chamwe muchirina na ye olunaddako badia gatemunajja. You do this and this and this. You are supposed to be a mentor. You were supposed to be a mentor. These kids actually look up to you so much that they came in with high hopes and left with crushed spirits, and you sat there and felt, oh, I'm so powerful, I can do this. Second, two people, those useless girls who are seated next to him, you are laughing. It was so funny. You were laughing. You are two females seated next to a man breaking down young souls. Mufana nanga nsowere zitambulira ku things I cannot say. Mbwamwe dogs you. Huh? An entire production team sat down and watched these people break down young eager souls. And the females felt it was laughable. I bet you even the cameraman was laughing. Alex Mukulu, where'd they call? Where'd they call? You cannot be a Simon Cowell. First of all, you're too short to be him. Secondly, you're too facially. Thirdly, you're not even that rich. You're not that rich to be talking down to anybody. Only Simon Cowell can do that. That was just plain annoying. Alex Mukulu, if you were such a big deal, you would not be hosted by a tiny TV show that is barely clinging on to dear life. If you were such a big deal, you would be probably on the biggest show. You would be probably on Tasker Project Fame if they had brought it. They wouldn't have given it to Ian. You'd be doing bigger, greater things. But here you are, you have been reduced to that. And you feel your anger and frustration, you're going to put it on the young generation. And everybody's going to be like, hey, if you've been around Alex Mukulu, you know that he is blatant, he is blunt, he is honest. I am the queen of honest. I am the queen of being brutally honest. But even I know that there are times and there are minors. These were minors. You do not talk to minors like that. Matter of fact, I wish we can cancel that entire show by Jijene Kumpeo. Because tebaina chebakola. Tebaina chebakola. How are you sitting there and telling us you're trying to help a nation and its young generation find out their talent when you have people like Alex Mukulu come on and tell people, Monya, so what obaba unya? Wafa. Wafa. And it's so funny and ironic that as you were being disrespectful to these young kids, they actually bowed their heads towards you in respect. Watch that video. Those kids could have been angry. They could have walked off that stage. They held their place, they kept it together, and they bowed down in respect as they listened to you disrespect them. I hate the old generation in this country. Y'all are full of shit. You're full of yourselves. You were supposed to mentor these kids, not break them down. Man, damn country's full of shitheads. I was so angry. If you don't know why this is angering me, if you have a child and they told you and expressed the interest to do something, your job as a parent is to help them get there. And in this place, Alex Mukulu, you could help these kids, but I don't think this was the best way you could have done it. There were better ways to do this. But oh, you're Alex Mukulu, you're great. Everybody knows your name. No kachenjere. And if anybody knows those kids, and if anybody in this industry can help those kids, please reach out to them. I personally, if anybody wants me to have a conversation with them on personal hygiene, on how to present themselves when they go out for things like that, I will do it in a heartbeat, free of charge. Whoever knows my email address, they're running here. There's a phone number, there's an email address. If these kids can reach out to me, if they want something to be done about their public image and how they present themselves, I will do it for free. I will put the time out. You know why? Because that is what you do when you're trying to bring out something beautiful in a child. You mentor them, you guide them, you shield them from the harsh cruelties of life and teach them that if they're thrown at you, this is how you can come back from them. You don't just dismantle them. You don't. You don't do that. So anybody who knows these kids, give them my phone number, give them my email address. I will do it for free. I will teach them, I will talk to them the way a mentor is supposed to. Not these idiots, not this egghead who comes on TV and tells people, munya, munya, munya. Have you seen what you look like? Just looking at you, I feel like, Gwa munya. To anyone. Where? There's trouble in paradise. Did you all see that? Isma and Balaam were having a sing. Ah, they were having a sing. The same Isma who came out when the tragedies in November happened and he said, Baba kubye katono, bandi Baba kubye nyo. Oh, that's him Isma. That's him Isma and Balaam, who are all from the same camp, are complaining. Nchali ne chibuzo chimu. Balaam, chogero techanoga. Bakunaza buza mu kifo kya kayayana. Bakunazachi. Bakunazachi. Oba tebamunaza. Because there is no way you can tell me whoever comes to NRM, the only problem they live with or live for is Balaam. Mwalimu chetegereza kecho. We all know Isma is a loud mouth. He can't take anything. Guy bamukubolu yi live on camera. Na mira. He bounced back from that. Juzi ne bamukubolu okwogera gasia wano during the election time. Na mira. He kept talking. But by the time even Isma is like nkokoi, nchitade. Ay, Balaam. What did you do? Obo mtima gwo mu byogo gwe gugu. What's going on? Ibroloza chichi. Chichi. And people are like, hey, Tevagwa. You think Isma did not know that after the elections he has no gig? He knew. You think, what's his name? Kanakfanana toothpick. Ashbaga Kato. You think he didn't know? Rebecca Kadaga. And after they will dispose of you like a used Dingabo condom. Bebo. They disposed of these bloggers like used Dingabo condoms. They don't care about you. But still, me, echibuzo techidi na ku Isma, kubango yesina nejengenda nacho. Balaam, explain to us why everybody who comes in contact with your ass has a problem with you. Wanaba buza. Wanabachi. Tugenda kulusozi tukwate Yesu muntegetege. Tukukolerechi. Because there is no way. Muchebuze, Balaam chichi. Oba kasente. Kasente. Akotogera kasente. The only person who has stood first in him is none other than the first son, who also happened to share his birthday. He celebrated his birthday when? Mohozi. I don't know what you did to Ugandans. Okay, I do know we don't like you, and we don't like you just because you're you. No. We actually don't like you because you're you. We don't not like you because you're the first son. No. Biaule. You being the first son, we don't mind it. We like it. Don't have a problem with it. That's your daddy. But you as being you, oh, Uganda doesn't like this man. Because I was seeing the birthday messages when people would send him birthday messages on social. Other people would jump into the socials with a lot of derogatory commentary. I'm like, oof, they don't like you. What did you do? Mozi, what did you do? These Ugandans really don't like him. It was his birthday. Did we celebrate it? Are we going to celebrate it? Why should we? After last week's episode, I know I went very political, and I told all of you that I was angry that the reason why I feel we are where we are is because, one, we do not ask for public accountability of the funds and resources that are coming in and out of this country. Secondly, I felt angered that y'all just, you see these figures, you see these numbers, and nothing happens. And most of you came into my comment section and you're like, but T, what do you want us to do? But T, we are this, but T, we are that. I was like, okay, if y'all keep waiting for us to tell you what to do. Now, as all of that was still going on, as of yesterday, stories begin to drop. I think they started yesterday by 1. So the first story that dropped for me that made me get shook was when I actually heard that MBS did this whole expose, and they said, according to them, according to what I saw, they say that a quarter of the budget 2020/2021 bajiba temumbuzao simanyi oba yali nga ntebe ne bagisitula ne bagiba negenda, but a quarter of your budget apparently was misappropriated and they don't even know where those funds go. I'm like, what, yo? Okay, so if it was already stolen, why are we going to do another one? We can just keep moving without that 20% or that quarter or that whatever percentage it is. As that was still going on, they hit us with another bombshell. So the story broke waves, I think yesterday about 1, when the Daily Monitor comes out and they say, quote unquote, that the Uganda, Ngegwanga, our national public debt is 65 trillion Uganda shillings. Trillion as in T for tree, T for Tina, trillion, 65. As I'm still taking in those figures, they're like, okay, let us make you understand what we mean by Baba Banja 65 trillion. They break it down even further and they give us the exact amount that I keep telling you people, that each Ugandan, whether born yet or not, Bamu Banja, 1.5 million 1.5 million Uganda shillings. Each Ugandan you see, whether young or old, tall or short, if you are Ugandan, Bakubanja, 1.5 million. I'm like, but wait, slow down. These are too many figures to be throwing about. As I'm still going through that and I'm trying to understand it, guess you what? In Parliament comes a different story. I think again 2 days ago, the state actually sent in a petition to be tabled by Parliament, and what they were asking for is if they can get 677 billion B for bread to finance the president's activities for the financial year of 2020/2021. I'm like, 677 billion in a year? Okay. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wait, how much did he use on the previous year? So I do the figures, and guess you what? From the previous year, that is 2018/2019, the government actually only used, and when I say the government, I'm meaning the president's activities only cost us approximately 407 billion Uganda shillings. That is 2018-2019, right? He was on a full 407 billion for his personal activities, the president's activities, not personal, his activities. Now, when we come back to today, they are saying instead of the 407 billion that he was using between the year of 2018 to 2019, they want 677 billion, which actually leaves a deficit of about 207. That's the leap they have taken. They have increased their budget by 207 billion shillings. I'm not saying millions, I am saying billions. Now, all of these figures put together, there's something called a GDP. I tried to find the easiest way to break down what a GDP means to a person who doesn't, you know, pretty much like understand it properly. So let me read for you according to Wikipedia. GDP in full is gross domestic product. It is the total monetary or market value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's borders in a specific time and period. As a broad measure of overall domestic production, it functions as a comprehensive of a given country's economic health. So, what is Uganda's GDP? That's homework I'm giving you. Because even if I throw this number at you, you won't get the mathematics behind it. I want you to find out what Uganda's GDP is. Then I want you to put that GDP in comparison to how much we owe in debt. And before I can say my bye-byes, I'd like to take a minute out to tell you all about our sponsor of the day, that is Jimbo Technical Consultancy. Now, what do these people do? They basically do anything to do with construction, well digging, fabrications, and landscaping. In case you have land and you want to develop it, well, it's quite simple. They can develop it for you and send you an MOU. They can help you dig your wells. Anything to do with constructions, you can actually get it from them. So all you have to do is check the link in the description below, and you can get in contact with them. I know most of you right now, ina kasente bintu tabichali bya pota ya byo busumali gundi yatuto musenyu atasimanyo obusawo bubiri bubulako. No, all you have to do is hit people like Jimbo Technical Consultancy up, and they will actually do all the dirty work for you and just send you an MOU for that well digging, for that landscaping, anything to do with construction. They are your people, and they are our proud sponsor of the day. I could have gone on today, but hey, it's been a bleak week. I don't even know if anything else has happened. Oh, and Consima, congratulations on having the baby. I feel robbed of this pregnancy. Yeah, and Vinka, we did not experience it. Do you think Rema would hide her pregnancy from us like this? But I pray it does not ever end in premium tears. I pray. Oh, anywho. That has been my time. I'll catch you on the flip side, probably next week. In case you want to highlight me, please reach out to me. And I would like to take the time out for all of you who have actually taken time to come to my email and write me up some beautiful things and give me some ideas. I see you. I honestly appreciate it. And don't worry about constructive criticism. I take it so well. Someone was like, Tina, you need to have a consistent background. Between couple. I don't want to look like everybody, you know, I don't. And then some of you were like, I should bring guests on. I feel like everybody does the same thing. There's a guest on every TV talking about the same things and all of that. I feel like this is the only time I can actually celebrate my random thoughts, mine. But if you want guests, like I said, the podcast is in works. We're building up the studio. We're doing so much with it. I know it's taking a bit long, but hey, everything that is quality over quantity will take some time, right? But I do appreciate you. For all of you who hit me up in the comment section on YouTube, I love you. Binji. I appreciate you. And don't forget, you always have to hit the like button. You don't want us to make money. Ibra. Can we tell these people to hit the like button? Do we not call a center? Ibra needs a salary, Sam needs a salary, I need a salary. Hey. Unemployment tutwala. So like the video, hit the subscribe button when you want or how you want. I just say, you gotta do this. Fanada. Tujabalaba. Olulala katudemu Uganda ya fene woma. Tulabeze bagendo okwewola kuluno. Obaze bagendo okubba. Obaze. But wait. Can't they kwewola money? And they just give it to Ugandans. Think about it. Kuba tuwewolerera buli kimu sicho. Kati what if they go to Exim Bank America and they say we want 500 billion US dollars. But now it is to sorting Angaba na Uganda. Me, I'm ready to sell off my citizenship. The only problem is I've not yet seen a country that wants me. Which country can take me? Who? I tried and they gave me Kigali and I said, nah. Mvantia Uganda nenzile Rwanda. From the frying pan into the fire, are you stupid? Another country, Kenya. Kenya, I would love to go to Kenya, but after the way they treated Stella Nyanzi, yenga sirise, mbadde nsibula munsonyiwe. Stella Nyanzi yagezaako okubikula mu mwagwe, mbwayogera ku Kenyan politics ne bamugamba gwe tujja kuzaayo ewamwe. Tujja kuzaayo kati ne Kenya tetugenda. Tanzania. Oza Tanzania bayinza okunzikirizaayo. Olaba baganda zali. Olwonze kimwa kyabwe. Anyway, I'm still working on that, but I want out of this country ASAP. ASAP, it's a toxic relationship. But anyway, that's been my time. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out. Peace.